Morning. I had to find all the places that I normally check on Facebook to find it. Facebook is such a nightmare. I don't know, if I go into my home feed I might find it. There we go. How are we today? So I've just popped the link for the Woodware collection onto both YouTube and Facebook, because we're primarily going to be playing with one of Francoise's new stamp sets. Hi Judy. Judy's over on YouTube. And we're also going to be using some stamps from our fill. So I'll give you the link for, let's look at stamps. No, I'll just give you the Sentimentally Yours one, because we might be using some chalk paints as well. I haven't thoroughly decided. This is going to be quite a, I suppose you could call it an organic kind of demo. I've had a little play, but we're going to discover the potential of these stamps together. So like I say, primarily we're going to be using one of Francoise's new stamp sets, but we're also going to be using some of Phil's Sentimentally Yours stamps, and we're also going to be using some Fairy Hugs stamps as well. As most of you know, I am the only UK stockist of Fairy Hug stamps, so you can find them from me, and everything that is indicated on my website as in stock is actually in stock, so I can send it out straight away. Morning Emma on Facebook. Who've we got? Sorry, on YouTube. And on Facebook we've got Alison, Avril, Jean, Caroline, Pam, Sue. So a lot of you still on Facebook. As you know, I prefer YouTube, so but it's up to you, obviously, whatever you're happy with. Right, so I'm going to shut my laptop down so that you've now got all the links to find all the products on my website. If anything goes out of stock, then just click on the email when available button and you'll be notified as soon as I've got it back in stock. The Woodware stamps are brand new. They're only released on Thursday. My stock arrived yesterday, so anybody that pre-ordered it, I'll be sending it out tomorrow, Monday. And as a result of this video, if some of the items go out of stock, I should be able to get some more this week. Everything looks like it's in stock. But this stamp set is the one we're going to focus on, and there's also these as well. So you can see this is an A5 set, and these are Diddy Little. I think these are 3x4 Diddy Little sets. So obviously the price point reflects them, but there is a discount on automatically just on the price on all of Woodware stamps over on my website. You'll see the reduced price there. I think these are supposed to be $13.50 and I'm doing it $11.99. I can't remember what I'm doing these at. So when I first looked at these, and probably a lot of you would have thought, what's that for? Don't really understand that splodge. But it's actually a really cool thing to have, and I think that once you understand the potential of it, then I think you'll really appreciate that it's really useful to have. I've focused in on the big set because you've got more shapes on here, and I just think they're just really cool to work with. And then you've obviously got the little semicircle and you've got a line and a couple of corners, and this one is, I think, really useful as well. But I'm just going to use this one. So this is your texture palette, and I'll show you a few of the design team / Francoise's samples just so you can see the sort of use that you can get out of them. I'm sure Francoise and the team won't mind. Because when you see the samples, then you understand what the thought process was behind it. So basically it's going to give you an area to stamp on top of, which is already coloured. So then you can choose to add extra colour on top, just do some areas, or you can just leave it absolutely plain. So here we've got this is the bird circle, and then it's just stamped on the big circle from the texture palette, and a little bit of colour added and a sentiment. You know, very, very simple to do, and I think it kind of takes away the white space problem that you might sort of have, or if you're not into messy backgrounds, this kind of does it all for you. There's a smaller circle stamp on this texture palette, and you can see Francoise as it's Christine Smith, has stamped it 3 times, and then the little bird is from a set called It's a Bird Day. Morning, Sarah. Yeah, they are really cool, aren't they? I couldn't wait to get them. That set, the Bird Day set, I've only got one left at the moment, but like I say, I should be able to get some more. This one, it's the big circle stamp is used top and bottom just to give a background feature. And this one, I'm not sure if it's an aperture or whether there's a heart that's been masked. I'm not sure. Anyway, you can see that the big circle stamp from the palette has given you your background, and then you've got the bird stamps on top. So the new collection, I'll go through the new collection with you. It's a mix of birds and dragonflies and butterflies, which is really cool. I'm going to be using this stamp set as well as the palette. And this is your what's it called? Sorry, I'm just getting to grips with the titles. Dragonfly Pond, this one's called. And then another one again with that circle. You can, and she's also got the yeah, this is one of Francoise's. She's also used another one, 2 of the stamps from the texture palette. So she's used she's used that one, and she's also used that one, and she's used that one on this card in the background there. So also this one is really, really cool to just have coming away from your butterflies or your dragonflies. Again, really cool. This one here has got a dragonfly on it, but then the bottom area is from the Dragonfly Pond as a border, which is really cool to do. Again, with the circle, you can see you can use it lots and lots of different ways. Some of the individual butterflies there. This one uses the little circle lots of different times in pastel colours and some other stamps, and that's the bottom of the dream catcher. Now going to the smaller sets, I think Francoise shared this earlier today. This is the texture background, so this is one of the small ones, and it's just stamped twice with some distress oxides behind the stamp there. And this is the dream catcher with the semicircle, so this is from the smaller set, and it's just pastel colours over the top. So there's some of Francoise's and the design team samples with the stamps, and hopefully you can see that I just think it's going to be lots and lots of fun to work with. So those are the 3 texture stamps that there is. But to go with this, there's, as I said, there's the birds and there's dragonflies, which are all the standard 6x4 size stamps. Sorry. So I'm just reading your message and trying to speak at the same time. Big mistake. So this one is called Birdhouse. So there was years and years and years ago, there was actually this style bird in a stamp set that Francoise did, and it was super, super popular. Goodness knows what happened to mine, but so this is kind of building onto that. And there's lots and lots of different separate stamps here, so you can add extra kind of length to your trails from there if you want to, or just use those as backgrounds. So that's your wire birdhouse. This is your bird circle. Again, this has got lots and lots of extra stamps to it. These are your worker stamps, so these are going to be really, really useful. So that's the one that Francoise used there. And here's your dream catcher, garden dream catcher. Again, you can just use the top section. You can see that, as Francoise did, that texture plate is going to sit underneath there really nicely as well. So that's that one. This is the one that's very similar to what one was years ago, but it's got I definitely didn't have that on there before. And it's got some, they've all got kind of little sentiments on them, or most of them have anyway. That one's called Three Little Birds. Morning Pauline, morning Jill. This one's called, this is your happy birthday. Oh, it's a birthday, sorry. And this is the one that was used for your trio there. And obviously you can extend the legs on them if you want to, but you can build your scenes with that one. This is Garden Border. So this has got your little wire butterflies on there and the kind of bubble flowers. Separate butterflies and a dragonfly on this one. That's called Wired Butterflies. And then also to go with the set, there is the long tag wishes. So you've got a long tag here that's really easy to cut out, and then you've got your sentiments that can fit in there, and obviously you can use them separately as well. And then I'm going to be using this one, which is the Dragonfly Pond. So there's 12 stamp sets in all. There's 8, well, there's 4 of each of the kind of dragonfly ones and butterflies, and 4 birdie ones, and then there's the sentiment, and then there's the 3 texture plates. So 12 in all. Morning, Angela. So let's get out what we're using. We're going to use, I've lost it already. That one. We're using that one. Let's put that to one side because those are customer orders. I can't use what I've sold. Right. That would be just rude, wouldn't it? So let's get some stamping done. So there's, depending on what you're going to put on top, there's lots of different ways that you can stamp this. So I'm going to actually stamp this in the worst possible ink to begin with, just to show you. Let's use another one of these. Hang on a second. I'm dealing with a very, very dirty piece of paper in my stamping platform. Let's have a less dirty piece of platform stamping, because that's got some stamps on it you can't see yet. So remove those, because I might be in trouble if I showed you those. Right, okay, so first of all I'm just going to use watercolour card. This is your Super Smooth watercolour card from Sentimentally Yours, and you know, this is my go-to stamping card because I don't always know what I'm going to do. Obviously, if I know, I'm going to use alcohol markers, and you can absolutely use these techniques with your alcohol markers. So just remember that you want to use a dye-based ink if you're going to use your alcohol markers on top. So you want something like a Memento. So you can use, if you want a grey, you can use London Fog and then use your Tuxedo Black on top. Or you can use your distress inks, but remember, distress inks, the nature of them, they're not going to give you a brilliant coverage, but you know, that doesn't matter. You know, we can experiment with distress inks as well. I'm hoping that we're not going to be 2 hours today, but we'll just see. We'll just see. Right, so we are actually going to stamp with Archival, which is the worst stamp ink to stamp with when you're dealing with which is effectively a silhouette stamp. So it's a solid stamp, and we won't necessarily get the best image, so it's not necessarily the best way to show this off, but it still works. It is a big stamp, and one of the dangers is that you might get an air bubble in it, which can cause havoc with it when you're actually stamping. But you could actually use this. Caroline's saying, I do like Francoise's stamps. I love her gnomes. You can use these with your gnomes as well. You can use these with everything, which is why we're going to be using Fairy Hugs and Sentimentally Yours with it. In fact, I have got an Almond Create stamp out as well, but whether we get round to it or not, I don't know. So let's just pop this on a piece of card. Hi Anne-Marie, hi Trudy, hi Zena. Lovely to see so many of you this morning. So I'm just going to peel it off again. I know where my position is. I'm just going to peel it off again, see if I can not get any air bubbles. It always is a good idea. And then we're going to go for one of my mini archivals, and this is in a tin. Don't, whatever you do, put your tin down on your stamping platform when your magnets are there, because the magnets are just going to stick to your tin. How do I know that? I don't know, Julia. How do you know that? I've been there and done it. Right, so this is sky blue. I'm not sure if I've got any of these left in stock. I did have them. So, but archival, the nature of archival is it's a fast drying ink. It is not the best ink to use when you're doing this sort of thing. But I do want a really pale blue, and I want to be able to stamp my VersaFine Claire on top. And VersaFine on top of VersaFine, it doesn't always work. It depends on how long you leave it to dry, really. But we'll see. So I'm giving it a good old covering of the ink. Let's see how we get on. It will stain your stamps, it absolutely will. But again, don't stress too much. I can see I've got a few air bubbles in here, so I need to concentrate on that, and there. Probably need to do it a couple of times. Yeah, it's very light in the middle. It's not actually very blue because of the colour of my stamp. You can see I've stamped this a few times already. I just want a pale blue background. Or a bluish background. Come on. I've got something wrong with my left hand, which doesn't help when I'm doing this. Where is it? A little bit more. You'll see when I stamp it again that you don't always have this problem. It's just because I'm using archival. So I'm making this really hard work for myself just because I want it in pale blue. Sorry, Sarah. Let's just see if we can get a little bit more on there. I might give up in a minute and put distress on it. Yeah, it's not as dark as I want it to be. So we're going to give up on that, and we're going to get my distress out. Blues. I want a pale blue though. That's good. That's looking more like speckled egg there now. So let's put some speckled egg on. And it's fine to mix dye and archival. It's absolutely fine. That's a bit darker now. It's that spot there. Air bubbles. They can't wait for you to be back, June. That's the thing, isn't it? They love the fact that you're back. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Jean's saying when she first saw this stamp, she thought, what would I do with that? Now she can see. Yeah, the stamps, I'm not doing a very good job here, am I? The examples from Francoise are just absolutely fantastic, in the design team. Now, that is not a very good image there, and that is all down to me. So I'm trying to give you a better image. Let's move this out of the way. In fact, let's just turn it over. And let's not do archival. Oh, God, that hurts. Let's give it a mist. No, not mist. VersaFine Claire, where are you? Right. light colour. I want a blue. That's fine, okay. Here we go. Proper ink pad. This is Warm Breeze. So this will do. This will be fine. That middle bit. Do you have to work for your money with this one? Nearly there. Okay, that'll do. Okay, so that's much better, isn't it? It's because I'm using VersaFine Clear and I can see I've got some ink left on there where it's not quite gone. Stamping platform, definitely. So there's my VersaFine Clear. That's my Warm Breeze. Let's just wipe that off. I'm going to go with different colours on. So we do that one. We'd also do a grey one while we're at it. So we use the Morning Mist. So we can do a couple of different stamps and then this can be drying while we're at it, hopefully. We can also force it dry with the heat tool. I wouldn't use embossing powder on here because then it's going to make it difficult to stamp on top, and the whole idea is that it's a background. That's Morning Mist. It might be a bit of a bluey grey, this one, because of what's left on my stamp. In the middle. Come on. Play nicely. Caroline's saying, don't know if your ears were burning, but Jane Royston and I were saying that we both bought the same set of stamps after watching one of your lives. That must be probably the notebook textures, I should think. So there's a grey one. Okay, so let's build a scene around this. Oh, there's another one we can do as well, actually, while we're at it. While this stamp's on here, let's just get another piece of card. And we'll use our Distress Oxides. So let's have some bright colours. Let's have a bit of Kitsch Flamingo and a bit of Spice Marmalade. This is an oxide. So what we're going to do is put a bit more there. Just going to give it a bit of a mist with water because we want to stamp on top and watercolour. If you actually mist with water, then you're oxidising the ink, and so it doesn't move when you actually watercolour on top, which is fab. So this is more like jelly paper printing, I suppose, when you're using your oxides and you've misted it, because you're not going to necessarily get all the detail. A bit in the middle, I've wet it a bit too much, but it's fine. Okay. So we have got some detail, but then you've got the oxidized bit as well. Okay, so that's our Distress Oxides. Just wipe that in. I'm going to use a towel for that. So we're just setting our scene. Obviously, wash that under a tap with your oxides. That's the easiest way to clean that off. See, See, I can see this working really well with some Sarah's stamps. Well, anybody's stamps, anybody's at all. I think it's quite, well, it's very clever of Francoise what she's come up with, actually. So let's go to our blue one. And one of the new stencils from Creative Expressions, which is your Wild Oat Grass. Some of the new stencils are actually out of stock because, well, they just are, and I can't get any more at the moment. I think it's the Dandelion Whispers and the, what's it called? Weeping Willow. Those two are currently out of stock, but hopefully they'll do another run. But the Wild Oat Grass is in stock at the moment. So we're just going to build the scene up a wee bit. And we're going to grab a brush and a bit of Rustic Wilderness Distress. Obviously this will be trimmed down. We're going to have, I'm hoping that we see this because this is quite dark green. I'm hoping that we see this over the top. Let's have it over there a bit. I have got one of these I've done already because I wanted the ink to dry, and we're going to stamp on top of that one rather than on top of this one because I want to stamp and emboss, and the distress will stay wet for a while. I am going to just ink this bottom bit just in case I want it. So I haven't decided yet. It's easier to do it all in one go. It's showing not as good as it is on the other one. See, Versafine and Claire need to do some pastel colours, I think. It should be rather marvellous if they did. What I've done earlier is this one. This is the one we're going to use. So this is with the sky blue archival in the background. So you see I managed it there. It's always the line when you don't manage how to do things. So this is the one we're going to use. And we're going to use the Dragonfly Pond. So that's going to go nicely. Obviously the circular area is going to go within the background. And we need to just dust with anti-static bag, which I've put somewhere as per usual underneath my nuts. I have nuts on my desk. The cat, I think, is under the bed here in my craft room, which I still haven't got rid of that bed. He was on the bed, but now Ed's under the bed. I don't know why, but he is. Okay, so let's just secure this. Although I'm using Sentimentally Yours embossing powder, it's just a habit to get into. I haven't stamped this before. Let's see how we get on. Lots of little bubbles all around the edge of this. They are photopolymer stamps, as they Woodware always have been, and they're manufactured in the UK. So we all know, and they're always great value. This size on my website is the RRP is £6.75 and I charge £5.99, so you get over 10% off. So I think I do a really good price on the Woodware stamps. So that's going to go in there like so. around. I mean, you could have it lower, but I'm going to have it kind of in the middle. I hope we haven't got any air bubbles in there. Make sure it's anchored right into the corner. And we're going to go for our Nocturne VersaFine clear. Now, if you don't know, the Rinkers are back in stock on my website. They were like gold dust, but I've got a good stock of them now. So do get yourself one of those or two of those. Yeah, the stencil, Sarah's saying the VersaFine Clairs are fab but very vibrant. The stencil would look great against a darker background in a texture paste. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But because I want to stamp on top, it makes it a little bit difficult, doesn't it? I mean, I could have used maybe one of the new chalky paints from Sentimentally Yours, and that would have shown up a little bit more. I can always go in and reposition the stencil and go on top and do something else, or even with gesso, add gesso on top, but then I wouldn't see it when it came off the page. So stop trying to think as you do things, Julie, because it's not working. Right, lots of tapping, new stamp. You can see it's all ready. It's going to be absolutely fab. So you can go in on the top here, you can go in with your chalk paints, you can go with your watercolour blending brush pens, your Sakura pens, your Stardust pens, any pen you like for watercolour techniques. You can't use your alcohol markers on top of archival, that won't work. And also this is watercolour card, so it's not the sort of card that you want to use your watercolour pens on top, your alcohol markers on top of. That looks pretty good to me. I am just going to go once more because it's a new stamp and because I want it darker. So just like with my fairy hug stamps, if you want it darker, you can just go, as long as you know it's not moved, and I know it's not moved, I'm pushing it up against the corner, and we'll just go once more. Yes, Anne-Marie's saying that the Warm Breeze background would be great for space theme card with a rocket on it for a little person. Yeah, absolutely. See, you're seeing the potential, aren't you, with these texture plates? They're going to work with absolutely everything. In fact, there is actually a pink ink stamp set that's got a mouse in a rocket suit, which would work really, really well. So let's emboss this. That's all right, morning Di. You can sit in the naughty corner. Occasionally, you're not supposed to be able to emboss with archival. You can if you're quick, and sometimes when you don't want embossing powder to cling to it, it does, which is a little bit annoying. So let's just emboss that. Was it you? Morning Diane, was it you I spoke? What does that mean, June? Morning Julia. So as always, warm up your gun before you go to emboss. And just follow it round. If you like to heat them underneath, like our Mr. M does, then that floats your boat. You can absolutely do that. I like to be able to see it as quicker if you do it this way. And it means I don't burn the card underneath as well. That looks fabulous, doesn't it? Just on its own. So we could chop that off at the bottom. I think that would look wonderful. You just don't need to colour it in if you don't want to. So I'm not going to, just because I want to show you some other things as well. But obviously you can see from Francoise has just added a little bit of extra colour on that Distress Oxide background. She's put her orange in the middle and put some pink around the outside. And on that one as well, she's added a little bit of extra colour. So, and before she stamped the Dragonfly Pond, she's put the extra textures in the background, the circle and the kind of shooting spray thing there on the right hand side. She's put that in the background as well. But you know, just using that, just like that, that kind of works really well. Sorry, I'm just reading your messages. Stop reading messages, Julia. Right, so that's that one. So you can see the potential of that. I will absolutely colour that in and finish that off at some point. But I think that looks absolutely wonderful. So this one, it is a bit dark. I don't think what I want to do is going to show up very well on that. So what we'll do is we'll go to this one here. This one is a dirty stamp plus the Summertime Versifying Clair, which is the orange. So let's look at other stamps that can work with this. You can see from Francoise's and the design team samples that the birdie stamps are going to work with it. Your bird circle's going to work with it. All of the stamps are going to work with it. And I'm sure you're thinking, you know, what have I got at home that are going to work with that? And I'm sure you're now getting your juices going and thinking, yeah, I've got that. That'll work with that. That'll work with that. So, yeah. Francoise is lovely. Yeah, she's really, both her and Jane are fantastic teachers. I've been to quite, when Woodware was Woodware before it was sold to Creative Expressions, I've been to quite a few Woodware open days with them, and it's, yeah, it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So not that they're not now when they've done classes, but it's not quite the same now. It's all more virtual stuff. So like I say, this is a bit of a dirty stamp, so it's an off orange, and this is just Summertime. So we're going to take one of the Sentimentally Yours Floral Curios, which I'll put somewhere. Here it is. So this is the Posy circles. There is the Corsage circles as well, and within this, excuse me, you've got your small circle. You've got all your extras in there as well, but there's the small circle, and we will do it, will fit on top of that smaller circle on the set. Yeah, Francoise's line art is always beautiful. Yeah. Yes, you can absolutely. Jean's saying Sentimentally Yours single flower stamps, the last lot you bought out. She's actually talking about the Notebook Botanicals Wonderful Wildflowers. They will absolutely work with this as well. So I think it's that way up. So we're going to have it. Let's dust with our. Oh no, we'll put this on first and then we dust. So we can see that that's going to work beautifully in the middle of that. Pick it up. Let's give it a dust now. I forgot to do it before. Again, we're on the Sentimentally Yours Super Smooth Watercolor card because it's my go-to card. I did restock last week, so I've got plenty. I've even put some stock on my website. I didn't keep it all for myself. So again, we're going for our Nocturne Versifying Clair. Ink it with an inch of its life. Give it a good press. And then we'll just give it another go to make it darker, because we've got these solid lines around the edge more than anything. And we want those to be nice and dark. I know, that's it, Jean. It does, doesn't it? Jean's saying the curio stack does look good. You wait till you see the one that I've almost finished colouring in. Okay, so that's nice and dark now. I'll clean that up in a minute. And we'll heat some this. It's not very often that I actually do grab stock out of my website to use myself, because obviously I get given quite a lot, so I'm very lucky. But when I saw these, and like I say, when I was just like you when I saw them originally, I thought, what's that about then? But when I saw Francoise's samples, and then I thought, I can see that. I know what that's going to work with. We're only just touching the tip of the iceberg, as it were, now. I think it's very, very good of Francoise to actually design these to be the right size for the floral curios. Because I'm sure that was what was foremost in her mind when she was doing it. Not. But it's just a really happy accident. So once again, you could just, obviously it's a little bit bent because the card needs to settle down. So once again, you could leave that as it is, pop a sentiment on it, or pop a sentiment below. You could use some of the extra little stamps if you wanted to kind of build it up and move it out a bit if you wanted to, but that could be a card. Or you could actually colour it in. And this is watering can archival. See, once again, I managed with the archival off screen. And let's just finish colouring that in so you can see how it's going to look. Let's get, what colours do we want? Definitely want yellows and purples. So we do the pansy first. Where's my scrap of card? Scrap of card, where are you? Scrap of card. There it is. I can't save you anything while I'm sat demoing. I'm really sorry, Jean. But like I said, I've checked the stock. There's plenty in stock because they were only released last week. So if you miss out now, click on that email when available, and I will be ordering in the next couple of days anyway, because I order from Creative Expressions 2-3 times a week, so mostly, so it should be absolutely fine. So we can just take, now if you want to, and we will, I suppose we will try it. We'll try on this one. We're trying the chalk paints. But this is your watercolor pens, and that thing where I said sometimes the embossing powder sticks where you don't want it, it's actually stuck a little bit to the archival, even though the archival was dry, but I don't mind too much. It's absolutely fine. We'll go right up there on this one because I got carried away. Pansy. You might be lucky. You might be lucky, Jean. It might be all right. So there's only one pansy. So we'll have that. We'll have that with a kind of mustardy yellow, I think. What's this one like? That's a bit too pale. I'm not going to see that. You have to think about not using the ones that are too pale, because you're not going to be able to see them over the grey. That's too pale. Do more yellows. That's better. So you could use your water brush on here. You absolutely could. But we're just adding a little bit of colour to the pansy. In the centre. That's what pansy looks like, isn't it? Or sometimes they look lots of different colours. And we've got these flowers here. So let's go for Yeah, you do it while I'm colouring in. This is why I'm colouring in, so you can go and buy, Jean. So that's an orange. Let's go for a darker orange as well, which is this one. So we've got two oranges here. They're totally different. And we'll go for the centre of this flower here, just in that colour. And then we'll do the outside in this light colour here. So hopefully there's a bit of a contrast. So any of your watercolours you can put on top of here. And you'll be able to see underneath the difference with the white. So like on this flower here, if you can see, the pink is more prominent in some areas where the white area of the stamp is, so where the not solid bit. And then that's the orange. And what colour rose shall we have? I don't want blue. That a bit. Let's go for a darker pink, I think. So what's this one? Well, that's a. Oh, that's quite nice. Let's have one of those, and let's move it around with. What have we got? What's this one? Nearly the same. More the contrast than that. What's this one? That's quite contrast, isn't it? Let's see. In fact, I might just go for it all as it is. Let's just do it all as it is. This is like a seedless preserves kind of colour. I need my oranges again. There's a bit on the outside. You see, you colour these bits in and then you think, oh, I should have done that bit, I should have done that bit. There's a bit on the outside. So just do that and then we'll move on to something else. Hi, Bev. You're late. You can go and sit in the naughty corner instead of Di. Let's just take that orange there. Okay, so that's all coloured. So there's one coloured in and one not coloured in. So you can see they're really effective as they are. And like I say, if you want to use your alcohol markers, then you want to go for Memento or Distress in the background. So if you wanted to take on here, if you wanted to see what the chalk paint looks like, you can absolutely use your metallics as well. Let's put that to one side. Take your chalk paint. So let's think about roses are red. Let's take this one. Grab a nice brush. I need to stir mine a bit. That's far too much. Oh, see, told you the tops fall off. I need to figure out how to stick my lovely tops I've made onto my jars, onto my tubs, because the texture medium didn't work. Now, because I've watered it down a bit, I'm not sure how this is going to be, but we'll have a look. So we are still watercolouring. And when it dries, it will go chalky. So obviously, depending on how much you water it down, will depend on how dark it's going to be. But I like to have it quite runny, so I can move it around quite quickly. Remember, once acrylics start dry, it's dry. That's quite nice, actually. Obviously, it's not dry yet. It sits quite nicely on top, doesn't it? So obviously I'm not going to colour it all in. I just wanted to give it a little bit. I will do it at some point. I just wanted to give it a little bit so you could see what the chalk paints look like on top. So we can do the centre a bit darker. That's going to work, isn't it? So that concludes how much colouring of this one I'm going to be doing. But obviously, you know, you can use your paints on top as well. So that's that. So let's use one of the oxide ones. That's dry. My desk is looking a bit of a mess now. Right, so I've got an oxide one that's dry over here. And we're going to go on to my Fairy Hugs stamps. So we're still just using the one stamp, just the one stamp. Just the one out of that set. We will be using some of the others, but just the one at the moment. So in the week I posted, and I should have grabbed a picture but I haven't, posted a stamp, sorry, a project, I think it was Friday, with the Fairy Hugs Dancing Frogs, and it was a birthday card, and lots of fun. But we've also got dancing bunnies as well. So I thought we'd do a similar thing with the dancing bunnies instead of the dancing frogs. And we'd use this circle background that we've got. She shouldn't have gone away for so long. She ran away for a long time. Don't blame you, mate. You've got the opportunity, just do it. You've only got one life, live it. So again, we're on our watercolour card. So remember, I don't normally like stamping on top of oxides, I must admit, with my Fairy Hug stamps, but we're gonna and see what it looks like. So we're going to start off with the dandelion. This makes such a quick, simple card. It's so effective. And we're going to have, probably will change colour a bit because where it's dropping off of the oxide, but I'm not going to stress too much. Let's have it a bit of an angle. Obviously this will get cut down a bit, but I'm not making proper cards because I want to show you as much as possible with these particular stamps. Give you so many ideas. If all I do is just make you go away and think about what you've got in your stash and what you can use these stamps with, then I've done what I wanted to do. So if you're not a subscriber of my YouTube channel, please head on over there and subscribe. All the videos from the past are on there, except for a few that were Facebook only, and Facebook wouldn't let me download them because they said that I was using unauthorised music, which was a load of rubbish, but I still can't get them. There's over 100 videos on there, so you can watch them anytime, you know, when you've got your stamps, or, you know, if there's nothing on the telly and you're crafting, because I've got a telly in my craft room. You can just have it on in the background, and if it inspires you just a little bit, that'd be brilliant. So this is with the pine cone, first pine cone, which is a dark brown. It's not the darkest brown. The darkest brown is the fallen leaves. So we've got our dandelion there going over our oxide texture palette background. And then we're going to add our dancing bunnies this time. Now this is normally Trixie, Dixie and Pixie's dandelion, and those little fairies love to scamp over there and have a little bit of fun jumping off the end. But we're going to have our dancing bunnies, and this is from the music and ballet release. So we're going to have this one down here who desperately wants to get up there, and this one's going to be on the dandelion on the head. Don't ask me how a bunny can stand on a dandelion head, but he just does. He's just a clever bunny. And this one's going to go there like that. And you're going to have 5, not 6, because I can't get them all on. And we'll have him there like that. They just make me smile, and they're meant to. These and the frogs are meant to make you smile. And there is another collection, some other dancing animals that are coming up in October, and they're rather marvellous as well. So let's stamp these. We'll have these in the brown as well, so that everything's going to be the same colour. June, do you want me to send you your order that you did weeks ago? Do you want me to send that out tomorrow, or do you want me to hang on to it? I think it's got the wonderful wings in it, I think, and something else, I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Right, ink them with an inch of their lives and pop them into place. Do you? Oh, that's wonderful. Di's saying that she holds girly lunches watching the YouTube videos together. It's great fun. That's fabulous. And do you craft along as well? You want me to send it out, June? Okay, I will do. I passed it up this afternoon. So they are silhouettes, so we're going to give them a little bit more ink just to make sure that they're all proper. Because remember, this is watercolour card. It's not like the Fairy Hugs background papers, which are kind of semi-coated. The watercolour card just sucks that ink up. Unfortunately, there isn't a re-inker for any colour other than the Nocturne, which is the black. I wish there was. But juicy ink pads are the key with all of this kind of stamping, really. That one is obviously the naughty bunny. Not got enough ink on him. There we go, that's better. Okay, so there we've got our dancing bunnies. Yeah, I'm working on the new release with Fairy Hugs at the moment, amongst other things, obviously. Oh, that's good. So Di's saying, no, we just get inspiration from you, Julia, and discuss different ideas to do later. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Now, talking about inspiration, please, on Facebook, there's a group called Fairy Hugs Store. If you're on Facebook, please join that, and please share your makes. We don't get enough people sharing their makes, and I know that people love the stamps, and you know, we're not there to judge. We just want to get inspired. Even if it's not perfect, there's going to be something you can learn from it, isn't there? So please share your makes on the Fairy Hugs Store. And if you're not a member of the Fairy Hugs Store, do ask to join, because there's you get all your sneaky peeks in there, and I can't always share all of the design team mates because they're not from Fairy Hugs Store. I can't share them, but I can share from Fairy Hugs. So let's pop It's Your Birthday just in the top up there. We could have it down below. No, let's have it up here. just about fits by his ear. So that could be a birthday card. And I think the dancing creatures make fabulous birthday cards because they're fun. They make you smile. So we're going to just do this in the pine cone as well, and then we'll go on to something else. No, Di's saying she doesn't share her fairy hugs because those on there are so good. There's different levels of expertise, and there's different techniques, and there's always something that somebody's done that somebody didn't think about. So please don't think that yours aren't good enough. Please share them. Top of my sentiment there isn't perfect, so let's give it another go up there, just at the top. That's better. Okay, so obviously I would cut that down, matte and layer it, and you've got a fun birthday card. It just makes me smile. Makes me happy. Yeah, give it a go, Di. June's put some on there. Alison, she's been on a guest design team member for a couple of releases, and you find that you'll build your confidence as well. You know, we all have our good stamping days and our bad stamping days. You've seen some of my bad stamping days, so you know, do give it a go. Right, so that's a few ideas with that big stamp. This big stamp. So that's all we've used so far, and we've done. We've had our fairy hubs. We've had the floral curios, and we've had one of Francoise's. So that's just a tip of the iceberg with those. So let's look at this one here. So remember, this one here has been used in the background with the It's a Bird Day by the design team, and it's also been used, if I can find it, I think it's in the background. Yeah, it's been in the background a little bit there, and there's some in the background there as well. So we're going to use this one. So let's grab, I've got some that are dry, do some more. So grab just an off cut of a card here. Again, it's the Sentimentally or Super Sleeve because that's all I use. And we're going to just pop. Let's try our archival on this one and see what it looks like. I might regret it, but you know, in for a penny, in for a pound, and all that. Good grief, we've been going for an hour already. Can you believe? Let's go for one of the distress archivals. Let's have a bit of Kitsch Flamingo. This is from set 4. And I do have all the distress archivals in stock now. I've managed to get them all in the week. And this is a lovely pink. Too pale. Let's have a darker one. Let's go for pictures instead. Oops, here we go, hitting the camera as per. But you missed that, didn't you? I didn't do it before. There are definitely, Julia, what's bad stamping days. There definitely are. Case of working out whether you can hide it. Where's my others? Oh, I did tell you not to put your tin down on there. What did I do? Oh dear, what am I like? It's better, but still not. Honestly, I'm doing my head in. Why am I still doing archival on here? This is why I didn't do silhouette stamps years ago, because archival drove me around the twist. Nearly there. Okay, happy with that then. Finally. And my very pink stamp now. I don't normally clean my stamps, but I'm going to just give it a bit of a... This is Indigo Blue Easy Peasy Stamp Cleaner. She's pretty good, actually. You won't get it all off, but you get quite a lot off. Because it's archival. You won't see Mr. M using archival with his stamps. Right, so what can we do with this now? I know, we'll put it to one side, let it dry for a bit, and then we'll also do a trio. So just a strip of card, and we're going to do a trio. And instead of doing archival, let's be kind to ourselves, and we're going to put one in the middle-ish, like that. And we're going to pick up those fine clairs. So we're going for orange, green and purple. I'll try the orange first. This is summertime. It might be an orangey pink. So if you want to do something like this one, then you can do this sort of thing. See, it's so much easier with VersaFine Clair. I don't know why I do it to myself. Okay, so that's that one. And we're going to do one over here. Like so. And we're going to do this one in Verdant, which is this lovely vibrant green. You can tell it's got a bit of orange on it still. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'm not going to stress too much. And then we're going to do one in the Purple Delight. So I'm trying to get them facing kind of in the same way. So this is almost like a face, like two eyes and a nose. They're never going to be completely straight. I know my limitations. Purple Delight, not that one. Purple Delight. So this is more of a pinky purple. Monarch is a darker purple, and then Fantasia is an even darker purple as well. I discovered I hadn't got that one this week. I have to rectify that. You could do like traffic lights, you know. It's almost traffic lights, isn't it, with purple? But I thought this would be kind of Halloween-y kind of colours. So there's our trio of... It does look a bit like a bird's nest, and obviously you can use it with birdies. So that's versatile and clear. So that's, I've got some that are dry. So this is just an offcut. Obviously it's with the orange. And this is the summertime. So it's a dinky little card. So what can we do with this? Well, we've got some fairy hugs fairies that can sit in there. We've got Lorella. She could be perched in there. And then you could pop a sentiment in. We also got Valentina. She could be sat in there just to one side as well. I think I'm going to go with Lorella, who kind of sits. She came from the book collection. Valentina's from the love collection. Not that really matters because obviously they get used all the time. So let's have Lorella just sat inside of that like so. And then we're going to bring in, to make it a proper card, we're going to bring in one of the smudge sentiments. And we can just have happy birthday on there. So you can see this is going to make a very quick birthday card. Because obviously, I mean, the stamps don't need colouring in, but I would probably colour in her wings. But really quick. I mean, this could be a little gift card that you put on a Prezi. Could be a tag. Probably need to do Lorella a couple of times. Jean's saying there should be a best demonstrator day. I think I've only ever been nominated for something once, and that was best blog donkeys years ago. And needless to say, I didn't get it. Because when you're up against Sue Wilson and Barbara Gray, you don't stand a chance, really. Let's just do Lorella again. Make the sentiment darker as well while I'm at it. I do love these smudge sentiments from Sentimentally Yours. I think they might be my favourite. The background stamps, I'll just show you in a minute. Let me just do this and I'll show you. I did go through the whole collection at the beginning, but I'll just show you in a sec. And the link is at the beginning of the live as well. So there she is, little Lorella. It's pretty, isn't it? Right, so the set I'm using is, is this one, and it's called Texture Palette. It's an A5 stamp set from Francoise, and there is also, put it on there, it's dirty. There's also two smaller ones. So there's the semicircle one, which is semicircle texture, and this is the mini texture background. So there's the two little sets as well. But I'm using the big one because there's more shapes in there for me to play around with. So that's Lorella. So she's sat on there. Obviously you can bring in any of your stamps in there. It would also fit your the small circle from the Floral Curios. So pop Lorella away. And pop my happy birthday away for a sec. I'll use that in a minute. So on the trio, here's me saying we wouldn't be 2 hours. Actually, it's only 1:14. So there's loads more I want to show you. Right, so on my trio, Woodware Craft Collection it is, yeah. On my trio, we've got from the last release from Fairy Hugs, we've got Wizards. Now I'm thinking actually that Edith might be a bit big. We've got Daneth. Oh, we could have them on. Let's just do this. So we've got Daneth, Edith, and Exor. So we could have them so that they're. We won't be putting a sentiment on here seeing as he's so big. I've forgotten that he was bigger than the other two. This is Daneth. He's going to go there. And then we've also got Exor. And they've all got staffs. They're not wands because they're wizards, so they're staffs that they've got. Talking of wizards, have you been watching the Power of the Ring on Prime? Anyone? It's a cracking series, that. Really enjoying that. I do like the Lord of the Rings series anyway, but yeah, excellent. So we're going to do our trio of wizards with their heads in the clouds, if you like, and we will do them in the Nocturne. So they'll be in the black. And I might not use their staffs, we'll see. I don't know, Edith and Zanith look like they're having a bit of an argument. Exor's a little bit high, but we just put up with them as they are. It's very good. The one last week, episode 6, was a cracker. Absolute cracker. I've also been catching up on some BBC as well, because I haven't watched BBC for ages. So I've watched the latest Silent Witness, all while I'm crafting. Capture. I'm watching Control Room at the moment, and also Death in Paradise. I do love that. I think that's brilliant. Definitely put you off going to that particular island though, wouldn't it? If it's like Bergerac with Jersey, isn't it? Or Midsummer Murders. Don't go anywhere near that part of Oxfordshire. It's Power of the Rings. No, there's 8 episodes, Ronnie. The last one is supposed to be next week, episode 8. It said it's a season finale. Power of the Ring, it's on Prime, Amazon Prime. Let's see how we're going now. They're looking good. So let's give them their staffs, just so you can see how the staffs actually work with them. You can mix and match the staffs amongst the wizards. So this could be Halloween, of course, or it could be, you know, I mean, Harry Potter's still a really, really good movie, isn't it? So, you know, a good franchise. So if anybody's interested in that sort of thing that you're making for, then that's a brilliant, this is a brilliant set to have. So easy. I don't know whether these are having a duel, these two. No, let's put that in that hand. Let's put that in that hand like that. And Exor, where are you going to put yours, Exor? He's going to have his in that hand, like so. Is it on Sky Atlantic? I don't have Sky. And then this trio will be done. So you could put your sentiment, I suppose, at the top, or you could put it inside. But we won't stamp a sentiment on this, you know. We just get these staffs done, and then we do something else. don't normally leave it dirty when I stamp, because that probably has gone on my magnet now. Right, hasn't it? Yep, that'll do. There's my trio of wizards with their staffs. That works really well, doesn't it, with that background? Happy with that? Yeah, I can just actually, that would be a really cool card with the bunnies and the frogs. Alison saying, just make sure the naughty bunnies and frogs don't run off with those wizard staffs. I could think that would be really funny, actually. Those frogs are the naughtiest. They definitely lead the bunnies astray. So the one with the owl on it belongs to Daneth. Good Welsh names, I believe. I don't know whether any Welsh people are called Exor. Exor! This one is Exor's. He's got like a knobbly bit on his staff. I'm a bit OCD putting them away, because I end up with such a mess. You should see the mess at the side of me anyway. So we need to go on properly. He's got a star on his, and you see you mix and match with Pandora as well. You got the background stamps. I've still got some left. That's good news. Right, so what else? So let's make a tag, I think. So I did make a tag, and once again, I've forgotten to take a picture. But do a Photoshop of it, and we're going to use again some of the Fairy Bug's latest release. I'm trying to get my little cats out. Let's get some of the cats out. Look at these. This is part of my collection. Mini cats, where are you? Mini cats, there we are. And find them. So they're all labelled and all in order. These I've got too many. I've got to use them in the box. I'll start it in the box now. I've only got 3 boxes of stamps and an A4 box. Right, okay, so let's move these out of the way. Use those. Okay, so a tag. So the question is, what size tag do I want? I did cut a load of tags out yesterday. You know what I'm like. I'm sorry. I'm using the Studio Light tags because they're my favourite. Just need to figure out whether I want this size or this size. This is based on one I've done already. I think we might get away with a smaller one, actually. Yeah, let's do a smaller one because I prefer this background. And this is one of my Distress Oxide backgrounds. This is the one that doesn't have the tube lines on it, so you always get a twofer, and there is a video on my YouTube channel showing you how to do that. But we need to have some ground first. Let's go. And instead of a moon, we're going to use one of the stamps. We're going to use that circle stamp. So let's go for a bit of Villainous Potion. I know, isn't it neat? I've got one with my little stamps, one with those size stamps, and then I've got just a normal box with my bigger stamps, but they're all in order. I know. It's easier though. Sometimes I find I get stamps out like I have now, and if I don't put them away straight away, I think, oh, I'll just use that one. I spend ages trying to find them, and then I realise I haven't put them away. So just a torn piece of watercolour card. So we're going to do our kind of hills, if you like. Which way should we go? Let's go like that. And then when you do the second one, oh, my wrist. It's not my wrist actually, it's my hand. It really hurts. I don't like this getting old business. I'm getting older. fine. So we've just got a little bit of land going in the background there. Where should I put that? Put that there. Let's just mop up. Okay, so we're going to it's just a simple card. But what we're going to do is have this. Well, there's two we could use. We could use that one, but I think I'm going to use this again, and we're going to have this like a sun. So we're going to have that kind of here like that off of the page, or we could, let's think, we could have her over here. Could have that coming out of her hands like that. We could do both actually. So let's have a play. Stamping platform, that's what I'm looking for. Behind me. It's behind you. Stamps everywhere. How lucky am I? Put it in a corner like that, so I know what line I'm on. Yeah, I have got a die storage system that I use, which is a really useful box with, you know, the hanging what they call suspension files in, but if I don't put them away then I can't find them. So let's have it, let's have it like that, I think. Like that. I think we're going for, because we're on a purple theme, purple delight, and that'll tie nicely in with the background as well. It's got a bit of it's got pinks and oranges in it. Fine. I do want to stamp in my background as well, so we're going to use the fairy tale as a background, and I'll stamp on my platform away from my magnets, just because I've got a fairly tidy piece of paper here, so I might as well ruin it. You can see I've already used stamp. That's pink, and we're going to use the same colour. We're going to use Pick Raspberry, which is from whichever it is, set 3, I think. No, set 1 from the Distress Archivals. So I'm not using Distress ink, I'm using it archival, because archival will give me a good image and dry quickly, and also it won't interfere with my VersaFine Clay. So we're going to have, going in the background here, let's come off the page bit. Julia, if the background stamp is out of stock, don't worry, just click on the email when available button and I will get some more in this week, and as soon as it's back in stock you'll get an email pinged across to you. Because like I say, they were only out on Thursday, and I will absolutely get some more in, so don't worry about it. So we're going to go off a bit here. Doesn't have to be perfect. I think we forget sometimes that we can have stamps as background, and this is called Fairy Tale from Fairy Hugs, and this is a really good background stamp. You could do the whole thing, but I don't want to do that. I just want to have it over one side. Is this on? Oh, it's on a stamp. That's why it's at an angle. Right, let's have it over here like that. Oh, ooh, just about got away with that. They don't do distress archivals in big sizes. They did get the original, the kind of black and walnut stain, and I can't remember. You know those I think it's hickory smoke. There were like 4 in a big pad, really big pad originally, but you can only get them in these little pads. It's 6 sets now. Right, so this one's going to go across the top like that. So there's our background already for us to stamp on. No problem, Julia, it's fine. You never know how many sort of things to order in, and because I understood it and I wanted to use it this weekend, the big one, but it's very difficult to know how much stock to order in as to, you know, how popular things are going to be. I never get it right, ever. Right, so that's Fairy Tale. So we've got our kind of moon, we've got our base, we've got Fairy Tale there. So let's actually get our sorceress on, and she's called Nora. Don't worry, I will share all these finished samples, any colour added, you know, over the next week or so. Like I say, the video will be available to watch whenever you want to watch it. So Nora's going to stand here, like so. You might want to give her a staff as well, so let's just give a little bit of space so she's got room for that. And she's going to be in black when I can find it. Got too many ink pads on my desk. I always make the mistake of picking up the wrong one if there's too many on my desk. So Nora's a bit bigger than the Wizards and Pandora. So her staff might be a bit too big. Edith might be able to have it. But it will be a bit too big for the other 2 Wizards and Pandora. I love the fact that you can either choose to have the staff or not. I think I put moon dust going out of her hand originally, but we're going to try and use one of these new stamps on the texture palette. I have been known to want brown bunnies and then they become black, or because I put blue on top of brown. Sorry, Jean, I'm going as quick as I can. There's just one more thing I want to show you after this, but there are so many ideas buzzing around in my head now, and you'll find that once you start to use them that you'll think, oh, I could do that, I'll just do that, and the beef doesn't get put in the oven because you're just doing that one other thing. Let's give her a staff. So she's got mushrooms on hers. So that's going to go, it just about fits in there like so. And while we're at it, we'll bring in the mini cat. She is. So the mini cats, there's this one or this one that are going to fit. think we'll have this one that's on his hind legs. He's a bit like my daughter's cat, Damon. He when he has his licky licks, which are like frubes for cats, they got kind of meat flavours rather than yoghurt flavours, or fruit flavours. He can stand on his back legs for ages licking his licky licks, whereas Ed doesn't like to do that. Ed likes his in his bowl. I think these are all based on Ed, who's the cat that's on his own, individual cat. He's much bigger. Yeah. Where are you, Ed? There we go. Ed's quite a bit bigger. That's Ed. He's named after my cat. So the mini cats are smaller than Ed, and that's Nala. She's got really cool whiskers. Mouse's whiskers. He's fine as he is. Happy with him. So we're just going to add that extra whoosh to her hands from the texture palette. Let's put this stuff away. Are you cooking for more people today, Jean? Tommy. Ed came with his name, so I think he's named after Ed Sheeran. So a whoosh, which isn't going to be in the palette. So I reckon we can use part of this one. Just coming out of her hand. Like that. And we'll do that. What colour should we do that in? Let's do that in. Let's do it in the purple. Let's do it in the Purple Paradise. We don't need to do much of it. I thought I'd done loads too much, but I haven't. Good judgment there. That works, doesn't it? I'll show you in a sec. So I'm not going to put a sentiment on here because it doesn't really fit. Where's my black? I'll just edge the edges a bit, and that can pop onto my tag, which I think they make great bookwork marks. My daughter will love this. So you can see we've got that whoosh coming out of her fingers there, and the little mini cat's trying to get hold of it. That works, doesn't it? It's cool. Oh, really? Gosh, Jean. Fancy having to cook every Sunday. Right, so one more little well, there was a few little things I was going to show you actually. Let's just grab one of these. Do you remember we did this earlier? Just to show you. In fact, there's two things I'm going to show. Where are we at? 1:39. We should be done in 20 by 2 o'clock. Where's my floral curios gone? There we are. So we won't be using all and create today, I don't think. We won't get that far. But I'm sure you can imagine there'll be loads of all and create stamps that are going to work with this. So which way up is my... Oh, it's that way. Let's come off there. So it's going to be that way. This is the smaller, the floral curios. was going to emboss that as well, because then I can use my chalk paints on top. The chances are that the VersaFine Claire is still wet. We'll soon find out, won't we? Soon find out. I haven't used this small stamp before. It's from here. While we're at it, let's do a sentiment as well. I do like the horizontal happy birthday. It's my favourite. So I'm going to do this again because it's my favourite. Okay. And don't want purple. Is it coming through again? Because are you only just saying morning Judy? Because I'm sure it did this last week and you'd said it right at the beginning. It's weird, unless it's a different Judy. So as soon as you put the black, obviously because it's a clean stamp this, as soon as you put the black on, you can see that it works with that background. So like I say, Francoise did a cracking job making those two circles fit with the floral curios. I do have some floral curios left in stock if you need them. Let's make that a bit darker. And then you can obviously do a bit of colouring in if you want to, or not actually, you don't have to. Embossing powder on that. So we've done loads so far today. I didn't put any embossing powder on. Oh dear, what am I like? Good job I didn't go on it with the heat tool straight away. You would have got it anyway, Jean. I know what you crafters are like. You're impatient. You want things yesterday. Oh, dirty fingerprints. That's the first dirty fingerprint I've had today. That's where you use some of your extra stamps, your extra splodges. Yeah, looks like the VersaFine Claire was still a bit wet. I'll tell you what it was. I put my finger in that. I put my finger in that there. And right, and that's what that is there. That's annoying. But you can see that that's going to work, isn't it? Make a nice little card. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, it is playing up because it's sharing the links that I put on as well. I know, it's really cool. I just want to show you one more thing. So we're just going to take this one because we haven't used this one before, and we're going to. Oh, I need to put these stamps away. Hang on a sec. Honestly, there's just so many ideas with this. There is actually on Facebook. You can follow Francoise. Her Facebook page is called the Francoise Collection. I'm sure you know how to spell Francoise because it's on her stamps. And if not, then you can, when you look at her stamps, then you'll find her name spelt on the stamps on her on my website. So yes, she's got a Facebook page called the Francoise Collection, And there is actually, I believe, a Creative Expressions fan club page as well now, so you can go and join that group, as that's a group rather than a page. But yeah, Francoise has been sharing her samples, of which I've shown you a few as well, which I hope she doesn't mind. So let's go on to this one here, and we are going to just stamp this one. We haven't used that one, so let's use that one. This will be the last thing we do because it's 4:02. So I reckon we'll have it so that it's kind of like that. I want to put one of my wizards on it. I'm going to put Daneth on it. So I need to make sure I've got enough space for Daneth to stand on top of it. You could be whooshing up that way actually. So plan where you're going to put these things. And then I can put a sentiment down below. So yeah, so that's going to go there like that. Let's go for let's go for Fantasia, which is the dark purple. So this is a new one, only got it out this week. I couldn't figure out which colour I was missing, and this was it, and it's a purple. That's a fantastic swoosh, isn't it? Wonderful. And there's still stamps on this stamp set that I haven't used yet. We haven't used that little box, haven't used that one, haven't used that little one, haven't used that box there either. So, you know, there's so much potential to do so much more with them. So we're just going to take Daneth and we're going to pop him just there like so. And we'll bring in I know when I do these for the charity, they like birthday messages, so I'm going to just bring in happy birthday from the smudge sentiments down here, like so. And we're going to do these in black. So this is going to be a very simple one, obviously. So I haven't done much colouring in, but I'm sure you can see that the potential with the floral curios. And as Jean says, definitely use them with the wonderful wildflowers from the Notebook Botanicals. Any of your florals, some of the All and Create stamps are definitely going to work with this as well. There's going to be so many different stamps from so many different manufacturers that you're going to be able to use this this stamp set with. So happy birthday's fine. Let's give Daneth a bit more ink. Am I using the black? Yes, I am. Okay, and let's give him somebody else's stuff just to show that they mix and match. So remember, Daneth has got an owl on his. So let's grab the staff from Exor instead. Where's Exor? Okay. So this one's got a star on it, just to show you that they work brilliantly. You could actually this one off. I'm going to grab my moon dust. Yep, here we go. Knock it again. Moon dust, where are you? There you are. So with my moon dust, I separated it into 3 different stamps. So we could have it coming out like that. Let's do that. And we'll just do the moon dust in Morning Mist, which is the grey. Miss that star off the edge. See if I can get that. It might be too close to the edge. No, no, should be right. There we go. So, I think we're done. So, let's have a little recap. So, the stamps that we're focusing on are the Woodware Craft Collection Texture Palette. Apparently I've just sold out of this, but click on the email when available button and on my website, and you'll be notified as soon as it's back in stock, which should be this week. So that's an A5 set. There's also 2 other texture palettes as well. There's the semicircle texture, and then there's the mini texture background. So they're going to work exactly the same way, but I focused on this one because there were more stamps for me to show you what you could do. And then there's a whole bunch of stamps from Francoise. There's the Dragonfly Pond that we've just used. There's your Dream Catcher. There's the Garden Border, the Wired Butterflies, the 3 Little Birds, It's a Bird Day, Wire Birdhouse, and the Bird Circle, which will work perfectly with those texture palette backgrounds. And then you've also got the long tag wishes as well. Anything that's out of stock, I should be able to get more stock this week. So as I said, just click on the email when available button. And then just to recap what we've done, we've got these projects that I've shown you today. Obviously that one's not completely coloured in. We've got some fairy hugs going on. Little tiny card. Again, another tiny card. Then we've also got a tag, a trio of wizards, and then a single wizard there. So quite a lot to show you there. I hope you've enjoyed it. I do hope that you've been inspired, and that if you've purchased the palette set, or will do in the future, that you've got lots of inspiration and lots of ideas going through your head as to what you can actually use it with. Because I think it's, on the surface it's, what on earth am I going to do with it? But when you actually look at it, there's so much potential with this particular stamp set, as hopefully I've shown you. And do remember that there's the Fairy Hug store group that we like to see your fairy hug stamps in. There's also the Crafting with Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours Facebook group as well, that you can actually go and join and share mates in there. And then I think there's the Woodware, not the Woodware, the Creative Expressions fan club as well. So don't forget that we'll be Sunday stamping again next week. And I'm trying to do a live demo every Sunday at 11 AM, focusing on stamping. And thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.